Officer Michael Raymond Riley Jr., age 27, has been booked into the Polk County Jail right down the road from me here, and is facing a second-degree murder charge on the death of 51-year-old inmate Christopher Howell. Now, this is terrible news, of course. Another black eye, but here's the problem. Lake Correctional, for those of you who aren't familiar with Lake Correctional in Florida, for the last 2 years has had officers arrested, terminated for falsifying official reports, use of force reports and such. They've had officers caught on video beating inmates, and they've been fired. Some of these officers from these last 2 years are still awaiting criminal charges, still awaiting the outcome of the criminal side of what they've done. And it's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. You have a prison in Florida now that for 2 years has been festering with abuse, and I'm sorry. The truth is the truth, and the truth hurts. All these officers, of course, were innocent until proven guilty, but all these officers have been terminated with evidence from the Florida Department of Corrections, and many of them facing criminal charges. So now what we've gone to, it's built all the way up now to a murder charge. So you're the Secretary of the Department of Corrections, Mark Inch, and you continuously say in every news report after every single incident from Lake Correctional Institution, our agency does not tolerate this. Let me quote. The Florida Department of Corrections has zero tolerance for the malicious application of force, Department of Corrections Secretary Mark Inch said in a statement. We must work to ensure the safety of both the community and those entrusted to our custody. If an officer acts outside of their authorities and the standards of the department, they will be held accountable. I've read this in 3 or 4 other videos over the last 2 years, right here on my YouTube. If you look them up, just scroll down my videos and look for Lake Correctional, of all the incidents that are happening there. And every time it's the same remark, zero tolerance. Well, let me tell you, now we have a dead inmate and an officer charged with murder. Secretary Mark Inch, do you think it's time to go clean house at Lake yet? What else is it going to take? You have a huge problem at Lake Correctional Institution with officers being vigilantes. I'm sorry. I just had several officers call me. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know about this. I just got some private messages on my phone, some text messages, a phone call, and these are all from officers that are actively working right now. You know what they told me? They said Lake Correctional is a breeding ground for corrupt officers. Well, of course, these officers that are calling me, I really believe them to be good, honest, hardworking officers, or else I wouldn't have them speaking with me. But, you know, there comes a time when you say, okay, I'm tired of people snitching on officers. Well, I've said it 1,000 times. If you're a correctional officer and you see a crime being committed from another officer, you need to report it, because guess what? I've done investigations in the Florida Department of Corrections where some pretty good guys, in my mind, I thought they were pretty good guys. They were just scared to report something they saw. They lost their job for failure to report. Excuse me, plain English. Screw these guys. They want to ruin their career. They want to, paint a bad image. We need to get rid of them. We don't want these people in corrections. How many times have I said that? I probably said that in these other Lake Correctional Institution videos over the past 2 years. So, these beautiful comments by the Secretary, every time something happens at Lake, in one ear, out the other. Now, you've convinced me. Now there's a death. I want to see what you're going to do now. And I've said that before, Secretary Mark Inch. What are you going to do now? You should go clean house. have the whole place investigated. If you have to go from the warden down, put some new supervision in there and get that place straight. Come on, it's that easy. You were a military man in the military. You've handled issues before, but apparently you're not doing too good in the corrections field. I'm sorry. Take that to the bank. Now, corrections officials, not the media, said Howell died after a use of force incident. Now, we know this happens sometimes, folks. That doesn't mean the officer is guilty. But here's what happened. A correctional officer who works at Lake Correctional came forward and said that inmate Howell was beaten by this correctional officer while handcuffed, as 2 other officers stood and watched and did not intervene. Department of Corrections, that's a man that came forward because he took an oath to be honest and tell the truth and do what's right. Now, some officers out there are going to say, fucking snitch, sorry bastard, we should beat his ass. When you hear an officer say that about another officer who reports a crime, there's a problem there. Big problem. That person needs to be watched. That person needs to be watched. Something's wrong when that happens. What I like to hear is officers say, look, I'm not taking any chances with my career, my income, my family's food on the table for some rotten apple. That's what I like to hear. And if everybody did that, we could clean this place up. But anyway, nice professional statement there, Secretary Mark Inch. We will not tolerate this. This is about the 4th, 5th, or 6th late correctional abuse, firing of officers, falsification of reports, and now a death. You say the same thing every time. Nothing's changed over there. It's getting worse each year at Lake Correctional. All right, folks, I put pictures up for you, as you saw earlier, of the officer that was arrested being held in Polk County Jail. And I put a photo of the inmate who is deceased. FDLE, Florida Department of Corrections prison inspectors worked together on this investigation. Good job. They made the arrest. That's a good thing. But, you know, this place needs to be cleaned up. We don't need to keep doing these investigations over there. We should clean it up. Thanks a lot for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories.